Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 886. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa. Somehow figured out how to do my taxes last minute. Happy tax day to those who celebrate. And if you filed for an extension, we'll see you in October. Joining us, as always, co-captain of the ship, and he's handling all the books today. Jeff Graham.
Yeah, I've downloaded TurboTax and I don't know what any of this shit is.
Dan Reichert, I'm going to ask you if I have to file for tips or whatever for any of those Venmos that people sent me. Dan Reichert?
Probably not. That's probably like a friends and family type situation. And maybe don't ask me because I got a letter yesterday. I think I might be getting audited.
Speaking about audited, we got the bad boy of games media and game financing, Mr. Minotti.
Oh, I'd be so scared if I was getting audited.
Yeah, but that's because you're you. Dan's going to come out with more money, like when he's done getting audited.
I'll clarify because I don't think it's a problem, and you tell me if you think this is a problem. So my taxes are very complicated because I have a bunch of stuff going on, and one of them is fire escape, and so we have the LLC that's in Delaware, and so I got a letter from Delaware yesterday being like, hey, we're kind of holding on to your thing until we're just kind of looking at some stuff. And I'm like, what does that mean? So I got a hold of the ladies that do my taxes, and they're a company that's like a tax firm,
Tax
whatever.
ladies.
And they've done they've done a great job with it. And I give them the forms. So like when I get the 1099s from like Fire Escape, I give it to them. They file all the stuff. I pay them. And so like, should all be, there's no weirdness going on there. And they're like, oh, it's not really an audit. They're just reviewing it. But like, let us know if you hear anything else from them.
It's, if it's Delaware, did you get a letter from the IRS or from the state of Delaware?
I think it was the state of Delaware.
You're fine.
They don't
have, there's no laws in Delaware.
Everything. I'm not like doing weird write-offs or anything. No. So it's like, yeah, it should be fine.
I'd be nervous just because like when I do my taxes, right now I'm doing the laziest way possible where Tax 29 has this thing where I basically just upload a bunch of documents and I fill out a couple forms and then they do it. And I don't think it's the most efficient way, but it sure is the easiest. So I like doing that, but it's also like, oh, I don't know if I really have anybody in my corner over there that's going to come and help me out too much if I suddenly get audited.
Yeah. I kind of have a tax person, and he called me this Sunday, and he's an old Filipino man that is the most curmudgeon-y person in the world.
I wish I had one to do my taxes.
Just give me 20, 30 years, Grub.
Okay.
And he just calls me and he goes, I know you haven't filed for your taxes yet.
Dracula?
I didn't want to do a Filipino accent, so I think I did a Nosferatu on accident.
It was very Dracula.
I wanted to file your taxes.
I am just picturing the Filipino version of like that old guy with the cigar who calls Homer about like his stock and the power plant killing him.
That's pretty much him.
Yeah,
it's pretty much him. And he told me, just drop off your envelope, your W-2s in the mailbox. And then I did. And then he stumbles out of there like that he was expecting me and waiting for me the whole day. And then I go like, hey, thanks for doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you next year. And he does this every single year. And I tell him, I try and be jovial and joke with him. Hey, like, I'll see you next year. Thanks for doing my taxes. And he just always goes, if I live that long.
Hell yeah. Oh, I like it. I like that energy.
I mean, all the things of him like predicting you coming. He does sound like Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula. I always mess up the Bran part, and then the Stroker comes out, and I'm like, no, it's Stoker.
You don't want the Stroker to come out.
Not Bram
Stoker. You never want that. You want to keep that hidden away. But it sounds like Gary Oldman in that movie.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. I don't know if you've seen it recently. It's like weird in a super fun way.
Because it's like in that weird period where they're like special effects, like you could go in any direction, but they're like, we're just gonna do it cheap on a stage, and it has this ethereal, awesome look.
Matte paintings and stuff, and like really fucking cool stuff. It's awesome.
I love it. His den area that I've been in a couple times, it's the most confusing decor. No. My tax guy.
Okay.
I haven't been to Dracula's in a minute. I don't know what he's up to. Because, sometimes when you enter someone's domain, you can kind of tell what they're into. sometimes where they lean politically.
I don't
and
think
stuff.
you could walk into Dan's house and know what he's all about. That seems far-fetched.
Certain rooms.
Because like, okay, he has like a lot of American flags everywhere, and I understand, like, hey, you're proud to be an American, you immigrated here, I get that. And then like he'll have some like he has like a framed Giants jersey that's signed by like the World Series team, and then he has a picture of Obama, and then he has like maybe some firearms displayed, and then like a stuffed head somewhere. I'm like, I don't know where you go, man. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can I tell you all about my worry today?
Yeah, please.
I was at the zoo this past weekend.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Oh yeah, come on. Wow, no, it was my zoo.
Hey, aren't you at the zoo every day? You're the main attraction.
Come
Wow.
on now.
Yeah.
No, I did get one gorilla joke from my brother when I was standing by that exhibit. Yeah, that was great. But they had a silent auction. It was like a form auction. They said all these items, and you just like write your name on like the next bit, and you put your contact information. At first, I saw this Lord of the Rings thing. It was like a photo of Gollum, Sam, and Frodo. Yeah, it's like most of it was like Pittsburgh sports paraphernalia. I was like, okay, that
The
makes
Hobbits
sense.
from Pittsburgh?
No, absolutely not. They're from the Shire.
I didn't know it's like a subdivision or something.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, well, okay, I'll put my name on this thing. So like, I was like the new highest bidder for this signed thing of, Elijah Wood and Rudy,
cool.
what's his face? I was like, I
Giuliani?
need what?
Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, it's Rudy Giuliani. But then, like, I didn't even notice they have one. It's like a cloth screenshot of Mike Tyson's Punch Out signed by Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, well, I gotta put my name on this. Oh, and then like only after I like put ink to paper, I'm like, well, it'd be nice to win one of those. I don't know if I want to win both of them because they are kind of expensive. So now I'm like looking at my email all day, seeing if I get emailed by the zoo to tell me if I have to like go and pay them a bunch of money for signed doodads.
Did he win? Wait, so you don't know until
I don't
you get
know
an
yet,
email?
but I was winning bids, and they weren't getting like a ton of bids, and it was basically one day of the auction. So it's one of these things where it's like, if I win, that's kind of cool. I think ideally I would just win one of them. That would make me happy. If I won two, that's too much winning. I'm tired of winning. If I won zero, then it's like, well, this is bullshit. Why am I not a winner? So,
Is it Mario referee going TKO and Mike Tyson flexing his arm?
I have that one.
What does it look like?
let me see. I took a picture.
I think he's signed 1 million of these things.
Yeah, because I'm looking on 757 Sports Collectibles, and it's got this thing right here, and it's $299 on this website.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. This is Mike Tyson is waiting for your challenge on the bottom. Or is it
Yeah,
not
I think so.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Now, my bid, I think, was around there. I'll say that. So it's not like I was getting some deal on it or anything cool. Yeah, it's like, I feel like that's the thing. Like, the prices weren't so cheap that it's like, well, I'm getting a deal here. I could just go and buy this thing on this site. This looks a little different than mine, Jeff, but basically.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
they all kind of look like that. Yeah, mine's slightly different.
Yeah.
Grub, did you get a teleprompter?
What do you mean?
You're just staring at me.
Why would you ask? That's a very weird question to ask a person.
Well,
you're
just the unbroken eye contact and also that slight haze that happens when the camera's looking through a screen with stuff on it.
Yeah. Also, I think I need to like turn down the brightness on it because it's creating those effect in there.
I full screened it, and so you get any of the borders or anything, the white stuff, it will cause that haze. But yeah, I noticed the eye contact. It's like, oh, I think he got a teleprompter.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Jean-Luc sent it to me actually. Shout outs to them. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll be good for like the social stuff when I'm doing game breaking news.
Oh sure.
So and I got you all in a little box over there. Hi, fellas.
Yep,
Hi.
hey, hi.
Get me out of here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. You're like in a little camera prison.
Camera prison, yeah. Before we get into games, I was helping my partner out with like a school event, and then somehow, for whatever reason, they had a Bay Area legend perform a song at the school event. No, not Rikishi.
No.
For my fellow Baydestrians out there, for whatever reason, the auteur behind the song "I Got Grapes," Nump, N-U-M-P, Filipino dude. It's actually a banger of a track. Y'all should go listen to it. was backstage, and I was talking to him, and like I was just telling him like, "Yo, Nump, thank you for like representation, thank you for like representing the Bay," and then he like daps me up, and then he just goes, "Yo, ya did I mean?" And then I just yell back at him, "Ya did I mean?" We were just stuck there for like a solid minute and a half, just like re-dapping each other up and yelling "Ya did I mean" at each other. And I just felt like we were like charging something up. We were about to do like a fusion dance or something.
Yeah, like rubbing a balloon on your hair, like you're really just exchanging energy. Sure.
Exactly. Oh, it's just so good. And I feel like before GB at night, before every segment, Grub, we're just gonna do that. And I'm not gonna count you down anymore. All right?
Yeah,
I
don't need that. I need to be yada meaned.
Exactly. I'm gonna go down the line of guests on the couch. I'm gonna dap them up. Like I can't wait to dap up Jason Schreier and go yada I mean, and then we're gonna keep going.
Okay.
And it's gonna escalate, and then it's gonna get to you, Grub, and then after the last yada I mean, we're gonna go up.
But I want that couch to be Jason Schreier and Jacob Fatu.
And Phil Spencer.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? We go to a gaming event and like we're taking a demo. Jason Schreier walks into the room and then he just looks at you. You got 3 minutes. He just brings out the 3-minute warning again, but it's just Jacob Fatu.
Yes. Oh, I like
Anyway,
that. We got Drew Scanlon on a couch with Samoa Joe. That was nice.
Everything died.
Uh-oh.
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 Oh.
Uh-oh. Are
Like,
we on
did you
live?
hear us?
Chat? Hello, chat. Hi. We can vamp.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think the stream died. Yeah, I think they
He
still
said
hear it.
everything died. Let's see.
Yeah, I think
Let's
that was an
see.
exaggeration.
Let's see.
Well,
Uh-oh, good here.
he doesn't
still
seem
here.
to hear us.
We're still here. No. Okay, the chat's here. I'm going to say a number, all right? 10. All right, so chat, if I see 10s, I know you can actually see us, but there's a delay, so we'll see now.
Yeah, come on. All right.
There we go. 3, 9,
loser
no.
run
There's the
the ball. No one hears.
There's the 10s. Okay, great.
All right.
Ty Dillinger. Wow. Yeah.
Well, this is awkward. We were waiting for the transition to games. I don't know what the hell I could vamp about right now. You want to hear more about the zoo?
Yeah. What was your favorite animal?
There was a sea otter who, you know how like they sometimes do cartwheels in the water.
I was going to interrupt you, be like, that's so boring, but now I'm actually
This
invested in
sea
the sea
otter
otters.
was eating his own ass. Like he was just going to town on a plate of spaghetti or something. Like, and he was like eating it, and then every once in a while he'd do the cartwheel in the water because he's just like looks like a tire, and he's just munching. He's just munching, and like me and all the kids, all the adults, are just staring at this sea otter just eating his ass like a man on a mission. I couldn't stop looking, and it just kept going. I was like, I think you got it, buddy. He's like, no, there's more to do. There's more to eat.
Get in there.
Just going. I was like, I guess I gotta take a video. So I took a video. I'll send you guys the video.
Yeah,
of this
please. I need to see
sea
this.
otter
Yeah.
just eating his ass in the water and doing flips and just
that
getting.
sounds like a good time.
Now, I'm still a little hung up on like a plate of spaghetti. So is it,
Yeah.
is it
Like with a fork?
without utensils, just burying his face in there?
Just like, yeah, like, right? Like, just get in there. Oh, it was insane. It was something. I almost want to say
Update from
right
chat. Chat says Mike is weirder than Dan. Okay.
I didn't do it.
Mike's not the otter.
I'm just reporting back. I'm just
He's
the
a
man
bear.
on the
It's a very
scene.
different thing.
I'm just the man on the scene.
He's just reporting the facts. All right. I
That
would
is
have also
true.
been like, that's quite a while. Now, my cat eats his butt all the time.
Yeah.
But was it like, that's work? I could tell that he's doing this for work. He doesn't really want to be doing it.
Ah.
That's a cute cat.
Hey,
That's my
Jan.
cat. That's Boss.
Oh, that's
Oh.
so cool. Boss is a good name.
That's Boss.
Hey,
It's
boss.
been his job to fuck for 2 years, and now he's getting neutered and retiring at my house.
Hell yeah.
Okay, my Gogsler broke. Sorry for that. Games, let's talk about them. None of the
These Goslers sound great.
I
Yeah.
updated the other thing. What? Jesus Christ! The shit that happens when I leave for a second.
You didn't hear what Mike was talking about.
No, I heard all of it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Oh, good. I was worried.
I felt like I was trapped in a glass camera box,
still
yelling,
are.
"Just please stop him!" All right. Speaking about eating ass, I
Oh, you got that room of blueprints?
yes, let me tell you, there were a different set of prints in that room. Before we get to blueprints talk, I just wanted to say that I've been playing a lot of a board game called Settlers of Catan. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of
good.
it.
That's
I've not
good.
played it in a while, but I like that game quite a bit.
I have nothing new to say about Settlers of Catan, except I fell
He's
down.
in there. I'm sorry, I'm watching the video of the otter now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Oh.
but that's the tail end. That was like after watching this guy for 3 minutes and he was doing flips and stuff. Sorry, Chan.
No, I just fell down a rabbit hole, a very different hole than Mike is talking about, of people planning and doing speed and like competitive Catan, and it is absolutely batshit because like people will have gigantic breakdowns of like, all right, if you ever have like the plains next to a mountain, no matter what the dice roll is, you want to position here, and like your first settlement or whatever, that's just a dummy settlement. You're using
so
that to block off people.
Oh, wow.
It's been game theory optimized, like poker or whatever.
Oh yeah, like there was someone just talking about like you have to be very bullish with one of your settlements, and like you just build the road. It doesn't even matter if you're going for longest road. You're just trying to gate people off, and like just the gusto that some of these Cataners are talking about it and how they're talking about it. It just makes me think I don't actually want to play anything with you.
That seems too serious. Yeah, I just like messing around when I'm playing games for fun.
Yeah, especially the tabletop games. That's like, I mean, I get everyone's got their scene, but that's definitely like a space I would only ever want to be like, I am playing this with friends and or family for a night, and then I probably will never think about it again. I know some people, it's like their whole thing though. So, you know, no shade to them.
Do you two ever play Carcassonne?
Yeah. That's what around the same time as I was playing Catan.
Yeah, because the XBLA, that's how I got introduced to it.
Sure.
I got an email today about a game coming out that I'm very, very intrigued by this. Apparently, it's Tetris meets Carcassonne. And this game is Drop Duchy. I'm just looking. It's got a cool art style, and it's this is suddenly on my radar. It seems like a deck builder Tetris Carcassonne game, and that sounds real good to me.
That sounds interesting for sure.
Yes.
I would like that.
Yes.
Speaking about decks, later today, Jake Decker and I, and maybe some other folks, will be participating and opening some good Magic the Gathering packs.
Oh dear.
And yes, the fine folks at Wizards of the Coast sent over some Tarkir Dragonstorm booster boxes and a commander deck. You know, we hung out a little bit with the Kind of Funny gang last week. And I feel like I might just barge in there and just like just set up a tabletop mat of a deck mat and just play with Snowbike Mike and Blessing.
Yeah,
like solid.
Just attack them with magic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you walk over there to their spot.
Oh yeah, I could just roll downhill.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Like you did at that PAX panel, just like some somersaults. Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't think I've recovered. I think that's what did it for me.
Yeah, probably that.
I haven't gotten the chance to play too many other things, but I did play a bunch of Blueprints. And as I understand it, and I've heard from y'all, I think you guys like it.
Yeah. Let's talk about this real quick. The backlash is surprising to you guys at all?
I'm kind of confused by it. What's the deal? What are people mad about?
I mean, you know, it's like mixed on Steam or whatever, or mostly good. It's in that range. My thing is when people are talking about their complaints, I get it, but at a certain point, we're just talking about a completely different game. Like your experience 4 or 5 hours in is so removed from what I have done in that game that like I appreciate that if you're saying it's not for you after that amount of time, but like we just can't have a real constructive conversation about the games because it's turned into a different game like 2 or 3 times for me at this point.
But it's so weird to me. Like I get that, and yeah, it gets more complicated, it gets better. But I also thought the game was very good almost immediately. Also, I mean, this was always bound to happen to some extent because it's still more of a niche genre, right? So a lot of people are gonna play almost any game that gets like a 90 or above, and then find out, well, I don't like this genre or things like that.
That's definitely happening,
right? And it's like it's always a little weird, and I know the most obnoxious thing ever is to tell somebody you just don't get it. So I won't. I'll try not to. But there are like some of the complaints I hear are surprise me. Like a lot of people complain about the RNG, and I'm like, that's not really what the game's about. I know it is, but I don't know. I never felt bad about the RNG in the game.
And then for me, like I mean, like going back to your thing, Mike, where it's like grinding in an RPG, where it's like that's playing the game. Like here,
I'm
like
learning. No
Yeah.
run was for naught.
Yes.
As I played through that game. Is it basically people that are like doing the Sean thing of playing a little bit and being like, oh, it's pipe dream?
No,
because
there's the Sean camp of people who are like, oh, puzzle games are not my genre, and those I'm like, oh, this game's not for you. It's just that simple.
And then
yes, and then there's the other side of, oh, I love puzzle games, The Witness, all these other things, Myst. I love this stuff, but the RNG, I hate it. And that's not been my experience. It's kind of where I'm at with that. I'm like, the RNG has made me more engaged because each run I have a base foundational gameplay mechanic to get better at, to understand more, to deploy knowledge in, and I can have a run that I can try to shape, in this direction. And then if things start going sideways, I try to roll with the punches, and I love that in a game. Or it ends, and then I go again, and now I've got even more information.
There's no punishment for having a run die.
Absolutely not. No.
Right. So yeah, but I guess some people just have roadblocks, and some people have roadblocks about a lot of things. Every game, right, is like this. There's still people, when you bring up Breath of the Wild, will complain about weapon degradation or something like that, right? And at a certain point to be like, well, that's still one of the best games of all time, even though some people don't like it. And the internet this way, right? Whenever people don't like something, they're the ones that you hear from. I'm not saying that their opinions aren't valid or anything like that, but yeah, I'm like, it's a little surprising. Maybe part of it is because I got rizzed up a lot by us, and to be clear, because we absolutely love it and we think it's one of the best games in a long time. I'm still
playing. It's kind of really.
Yeah, I'm still playing it too. I'm kind of like, I'm gonna have to force myself to stop here because there's other things I really should be playing, and I rolled credits a while ago, but I still just love pulling on all these different strings. There's all these different puzzles, like entire new mechanics. I am still somehow discovering.
I just discovered room 8 finally.
Hell yeah!
And that was like I've gotten the key, but I haven't seen the room.
The thing that I love about this game versus other games is that I have heard y'all ad nauseum at this point talk about this game, and there's still a gigantic chunks where like I have no fucking clue what you're.
I mean, I'm like, I've been playing for, I don't know, I can look at my Steam counter, but it's a lie. That's gonna be way off. I left it on all night last night because I had to solve a puzzle in room 8 and I didn't want to stop. But I've been playing for very long, and there's still so much. Like at this point, it's not like I was like, oh, I got credits and I understand 20%. At this point, it's like I understand most of it, but there are massive chunks that I still have not even engaged with or fully have even comprehended. I'm like beginning to piece together the lore, and I got to another place in like a room, not even in the house, that just kind of unlocked so much more information about who some of these characters are, and I'm like, oh my God, I guess I should have that one thing that said don't get too political. I should have read into that more. There's more going on here. It's
yeah. I basically just read a short story the other day, and it was like very good. It was like a well-written short story, and I was really interested in it.
Yeah.
And I know it ties into the game world somehow. I know it's probably about a location that I haven't been to yet. I think some of that is correcting itself, Jeff. Like, on Steam, it's at very positive now, right?
You're right.
And it was at mixed, I think, or something a little bit there. Because there were a flood of people who were like, I guess we're all going to check this out. And it's not going to be for everyone.
For me, I enjoy the run-based nature. Maybe that's just because I enjoy roguelikes at this point because of I've gained this.
Because they're the best genre.
Yeah. But like it has me hooked in a way with Blueprints in such a way that I in a different way where I bounced off of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, and that like I really enjoy the setting of Lorelei. I really enjoyed all of the puzzles there, and like there is learning that is happening that you are bringing with you throughout the house. But with Blueprints and that house, it's just like a different set of skills. And when I hit a roadblock, I can just go do something else entirely and still feel like I'm making tangible progress.
Yep.
I think I have been telling myself the last couple of days that I'm probably done with it, but then I do find myself keep going back because like I feel like I've done like I saw credits a long time ago, and I can at least see what these other puzzles are going to be. And it is definitely, it's like, okay, well, I could go all the way in here, and I have taken a lot of notes and stuff, but I think it would give it maybe dozens more hours for me to fully understand all this stuff. Maybe that's a stretch, but like, you know what I mean? Some of the post-game stuff, you know, sigils and things like that, and lore stuff. So I am kind of flirting with the like, okay, do I throw in the towel here and be comfortable with it? I think I might be, because again, I got 50, 60 hours out of this game, and it's one of my favorite games.
Or you could kind of like do the thing where it's like, well, maybe at this point now I'll start looking some stuff up, right?
Some stuff, like I did that with the gallery puzzle, because I looked at all 4 of those things a lot, and I was like, what
so tough.
the fuck is this? And so I
I
did
know
finally
you guys are
look it up.
talking about, so that's interesting. Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that. Maybe it's just like, because I do want to
Well,
see all of it.
I think like in our Discord, I think maybe we can just have an agreement, maybe to talk like
Pretty
25% more
now.
openly.
I'm fine with open at this point.
Yeah, because there's a part of the billiard puzzle that I just couldn't figure out. I even like got to a room that I think was trying to help me figure out more, and I still was like, I don't know. So I was just like, Jeff, what does this mean?
I have felt actually pretty smart with the billiard stuff, with the dartboard thing, because everyone's complaining about it, and they're complaining about it at a point where it's like, oh no, there's a square, and it's like, oh, I'm 8 weird things past that, and I'm flying through it still.
Don't worry about it. You think you're scared of the square? You don't even
wait till the squigglies and the dots and the
squiggles what got me. Now, a couple of complaints that I've seen that I do agree with. It is wild that you can't suspend a run midway through. Yeah. That's a bit of a pain. And the wrench item, I don't know if you guys had troubles with this, but I got this wrench and I didn't really understand what it did. And I think I accidentally made it so a useful room is now very rare, and I will almost never see it again. It might be a necessary room. I don't even remember which one for me. Well, but other people are having that problem, and you can't reset it easily. So I just think the wrench wasn't explained very well. Or maybe I'm dumb because I didn't understand what it did.
Yeah, I didn't understand the wrench the first time I got it either. I think it's because the way you interface with using the wrench is different than the way you use a lot of other items. So it activates when you enter a mechanical room, basically.
Yeah,
and then
so
just set the rarity,
be careful when you get the wrench, everybody. Because
I didn't get the wrench until like over 50 hours in. I didn't even saw a wrench. It was nuts.
I got it like one time very late in, but I think I immediately used it poorly because I didn't understand what it was doing.
Have you been to the conservatory in the corners of the house, Mike?
Conservatory.
That one, it's a green room. It helps a ton.
Oh yeah, I have been in there. I think. Okay. Yeah.
So hopefully it shows back up in there, and you can reset things a little bit.
Oh right. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just can't wait to get to Game of the Year season and learn that all of us are still playing this game or checking in like an hour or so a week or whatever.
Yeah. But boy, I was like, I am thinking about that because if we do the debate thing again, it's like, man, well, like. Think we really like it. Sean as a character, Tam didn't like it. So it's just like it is. I guess I am a little surprised it's as divisive as it is. Where the people who like it seem to really, really like it, and other people kind of don't get it. Or
it really is just different games. Like I mean, it's like
I just said don't get it. I didn't mean it like that. I said I wasn't going to say they don't get it. They don't like it.
When you watch a movie and then you go online and read the criticism, and it's like these people just watched something different than I did. The thing they saw is just went in their brain in a different way than it went in my brain. That's what's happening here for me still. I'm like looking at a lot of the Steam reviews, and it's like, okay, well, this person's got 5 hours. That is just a whole other experience than everything I've done.
And
so
there's so Jamie H1224 in chat just said the one complaint I see is that the RNG can break your flow state. Like, you know what you have to do, but the rooms you need just aren't showing up. I think so. Like that goes back to what I'm saying is, look, you have a goal and you're working towards it, but it's not necessarily the end all be all at all times. You shouldn't feel bad that you don't immediately hit that specific goal that you're working on, because I promise you there are 100 other things happening around you, and maybe you don't even think you're absorbing useful information, but by playing the game, you are.
That's right.
You won't realize it until you find something hours later, and you're like, "Oh, I've seen that." Like,
and the best way to spark that continues to be, if you see a room you haven't been in before, go into it.
Yep.
Like no matter what. You're like, maybe you'll get credits really fast if you get like some god run really early on. That matters less than kind of understanding these first early ways that open up the rest of the game, and that's done by going into rooms you haven't been in before. I do plan to continue playing for the next little while. I have 4 red letters of 8. Trying to get the rest of those. I don't know if I'm gonna like. There's more stuff happening beyond the credits, like the sigil stuff, Dan. I've gotten 2 of those, but there's a lot more than that, and so I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work to kind of figure out what's going on there. But I'm gonna keep pressing up against that, and that's sort of my big goal right now. And then as I do that, there's all kinds of smaller stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this thing that I ignored 25 hours ago because I couldn't figure it out. Let's take a crack at that again. And that's like happened. Like one of the first early puzzles that we all like, the beyond the getting to room 46, that we all kind of stumbled on. And I think everyone's going to kind of do it this way because the game kind of eventually just tells you to do this one meta puzzle. I had that sitting in my notes for forever, and then finally I just saw something in another room that was like, oh, are they being cheeky with like the way that they're writing this out? I'm going to go back to that room and look around. And that's like, oh, okay. I found the things that I was supposed to be using as information to open a safe. And it's like, oh my God, that felt really good. That just finally have that click into place after so long.
That is one I did look up recently. And that's the one with the larger puzzle with that we made a graph for.
Yeah.
And okay. Yep.
Oh, right. I still don't think I figured that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, part of it too is I just like the vibes of this game. I love the way this mansion looks. I'm just happy to do a run and kind of chill and vibe and go through the rooms. It's not a lot of times I'm not even necessarily thinking of like, this is the puzzle I'm working on. I just kind of go through and see what I unlock, see what I find. Maybe I get a lot of money in this run and I can unlock something that way, or maybe I'll finally get to an item that I haven't had in a while and I could try some new things with that I have some ideas on. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of go in there and vibe sometimes because I think the game is gorgeous and moody and atmospheric as all get.
Yep. I just like having a plan and like trying to execute on that plan, and then it doesn't go right. And like I said, rolling with the punches is a major part of any roguelite, and really any game, but any roguelite especially. It's like, okay, the game has given me this. What can I do with this? And it's like, oh yeah, that reminds me. There's this one room I've been trying to get, or this combination of rooms. And oh yeah, I passed up the observatory, and I didn't activate that one thing because that'll make red rooms happen more frequently. But now I actually do need a red room, and that will help me with this other room. So let me go back and do that. See if I can open up a few more. Maybe I'll get lucky. They'll be close together. Like there's so many avenues for coming up with ideas while you're doing a run after you get past the first initial setup of what the game is.
Yeah, it's fun because like at the top of my document, I have like, probably over a dozen threads that I'm trying to follow. And then so I'll start a run and I'll go to the outside and I'll see what 3 rooms are on the outside thing. And it's like, okay, well, if it's a tomb day or it's a classroom day, then that'll focus me towards like, okay, I know I've got a couple things specifically for those days. So that's what this day is all about, is trying to do the classroom stuff. Or if it's something that doesn't really help me, I just go to the tool shed or something. It's like, all right, well, I've got this list of a dozen things here, and let's just see like, oh, that room popped up. Okay, so let's narrow it into that. And like, you find your focus for the day.
Yeah, it's a decision tree kind of thing. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
No, okay, Mike, go ahead.
I'm sorry, because I just, I saw this in chat. I see some of people like, oh, the people who really like this game are being annoying and obnoxious. And I mean, gosh, I'm not trying to be, but
yeah, it's just genuine.
It's just, I just really, really like this game. And, it's stupid. And sometimes there is just that natural kind of like bummed out when you hear somebody says they don't like the thing that you like.
Or being on the other side of it. It's got to be a little bit bummer to like not like something that people are profuse about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I apologize if it comes off that way. I'm not trying to, but yeah, I just really like the game a bunch. And hey, I think a lot of people are also trying it on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus and things like that. Anyways, I think that's part of it too. Maybe a lot of people are trying this game who maybe even did know better that this might not be for them. Right. But yeah, I've been there where like something's super, super popular and I play it and I don't get it. It's a bad feeling sometimes.
That's like Baldur's Gate for me, where it's like, well, all right, it seems like this is probably good, and I just don't get it.
Yeah, it happens.
Grub, you were talking about rolling with the punches. Let's keep the ball rolling here. Mike Minotti, you've been playing Katamari Damacy.
Katamari Damacy. Yeah, it's neat. I played a lot of video games, and it's rare for me to have blind spots anymore, let alone really big ones. And somehow, I just never really played Katamari Damacy.
Really?
That's so wild.
I was so excited for this game. I don't even know.
Me
It must
too.
have been they must have been hyping it up in EGM or something
They were,
like that.
and it was $20, which like that was
Right.
back when like every game was $50.
But like
and it's
I
oh.
bought a PS2 for it. Like that's what I hadn't had a PS2. I'm like, I am getting it. I need to play this weird game. It looks awesome.
Same.
I think
Same.
I
I
signed up for GameFly just so I could get this.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I knew all that discourse. Like I was very much like on all the websites and the magazines at that point, and I don't know why. I just didn't really get to it or didn't care that much. I don't know if I was in some weird space where like I was like, oh, this stuff is too quirky, which is, I don't know, a stupid thing to think. But yeah, I just never got into Katamari. So finally I picked up Reroll, which is the sort of remaster of the first one. I just played through that on my stream. It's like, boy, I get it immediately.
Oh yeah,
Just-
how could you not? Like,
Right.
I don't think I would trust someone who played Katamari Damacy. Who's like, I don't get it.
Right. And like even like I knew it was going to be quirky and silly, but it was still quirkier and sillier than I was expecting in all the best ways. The ridiculous opening cutscenes, the funny dialogue from the king of all cosmos. And I know that guy's a goofball. I know he's a popular character, and I'm like, yeah, this guy right here. I like this big guy with the chin. He's great. He's a weirdo. But yeah, just rolling around feels good. Just that gameplay loop, starting small, getting bigger to the point where, you know, it's like it's one of the best feelings in a game ever when you get to that last level and you're just basically rolling up everything. You start rolling up the islands that you're on,
The
just seeing like
clouds and the theme
right.
songs playing and
tornadoes. Like yeah, just like in like that one part you started in that seemed big is now this tiny speck in your Katamari. And the music, the music.
The
feels
music.
good.
Music's
Yep,
about
that's,
Yeah.
it plays on a loop in my head all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So I actually. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Oh yeah, Gro, I was gonna say, like, I remember back in that day, like, I don't know if you were also intrigued by, like, whenever there was like Incredible Crisis or Mr. Mosquito, just, you know, very kind of wacky,
Yes.
very Japanese humor, like that was extremely up my alley. And
Yes.
so that's why, like, from the very first moment when I like read a preview of Katamari and be like, oh, the King of All Cosmos like basically gets drunk and breaks all the stars, and you've got to roll stuff around. Like, it's just like, this sounds amazing. And every
Yeah.
screenshot looks so weird and funny, and it delivered and then some.
It was like also like the first one that was like, or not the first, but like an early one that was readily available. Like there were a lot of the games like that like had this promise of weird Japanese stuff, which was always just like, man, this just looks so much fun to me. That's why I'm interested in it. But it's going to be hard to track some of these games down, and I'm like, I don't have the heart to like try to go figure that out or whatever. And this one, like, no, they're just going to release this game. I'm like, well, I am going to go to my game store. I'm going to pre-order it or whatever I have to do and make it all happen. And it was just so nice to like have it served up and have it treated like it wasn't some weird Japanese perv thing. It's like, no, this is a cool game, and we're just going to release it because it's good.
Yeah.
I liked it so much that I did just start playing the sequel, We Love Katamari, which also
one
got a
too.
remaster.
Is that in the same package or is that a
No,
separate?
it's a separate purchase. They're both $30 normally. You know, you can find places, but yeah, and I know a lot of people like this one more, and immediately it felt smoother. Like the controls were a bit tighter. It's still very silly. The aesthetics are fantastic. Still great music. The objectives are a little bit more gimmicky a lot of the time. I kind of wish there were more levels.
Bam Margera is there.
Bam is there, and like I heard that he's kind of problematic. No, but yeah, like, you know, it's a bit more like, hey, you got to roll a bunch of fireflies to help this person read and study at night. I'm like, okay, it's nice. Like, can I have more levels where it's just make a big Katamari in 6 minutes or something like that? There's also some draw distance stuff in this one, which is weird for a remaster, specifically the things you need to roll up. But otherwise, it's also just still very, very, very good. I'm not sure if I'm going to ultimately like it more than the first one, which I guess is maybe a mild hot take. I think most people like We Love Katamari more. We'll see how I feel
First
once
one's
I
my
beat
favorite. I love the first one.
it. Yeah, so. But it's a great series, it turns out.
Y'all ever check out Watam?
I
played
checked it
that
out
at
at like a
PAX.
PAX or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the
Same.
same guy?
Yeah, same dude.
Yeah.
I'm looking at screenshots of it now, and I desire this level of weirdness,
Right.
this level of whimsy. I need it in my life.
Is this the Nobi boy guy as well?
Yeah, Keita
Yes.
Takahashi.
Wait, is he the one
Right.
that is he got the game coming out, the 2 a T thing?
Yes,
The
2 a T.
T-posing? Okay, I'm curious about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just seeing him share some like timeline stuff or whatever. I don't know specifically if it was for the game or just for some assets. I'm just like, I need this directly inside of me right now. I need to T-pose with the boys. And I don't really have the appetite to play Katamari right now, but maybe some Watam. If I have no idea what that game is.
I just remember there's something that was a little disappointing about it because I remember the look and like the vibe of it was awesome. And,
Right, it was immaculate on that side. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the game itself, I forget if the gameplay was just a letdown.
Did Girl ever reach Pluto
I don't
in Nobi
know.
Nobi Boy?
I don't.
Mike,
know.
did you play Nobi Nobi Boy?
No, I guess I'll have to check that one out too. That's another one. Just I must have had something against quirky Japanese games for a while there. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're super racist, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow! Holy shit! I was only playing the waifu games. I think I was playing a. Yeah, I don't know. I was definitely playing a lot of PC games at that time. I don't know.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, it says here Mars was reached on May 23rd, 2009. Then Jupiter on November 20th, and then let's see, Pluto was reached on November 23rd, 2015. So 10 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
Apparently, she's supposed to loop back towards the sun now. So I don't know if she's going to reach the sun ever. We'll have to check back.
No idea what you're talking about. By the way,
Girl
so that-
stretches. Like
Yeah.
you play as boy and you make girl stretch, and everyone worked together, I guess, to make girl stretch.
It's kind of like a cat dog situation, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, one fine
Don't
day with
start
a wolf
him,
in a
don't start
bird and a
him.
baby was
Don't
born in a
start him.
castle, sir. No blue buzzard, no three-eyed frog, just a feline canine, little cat dog, cat dog, cat dog.
Well,
Up on the road and all through town, all kind of crisp when a cat dog down. God, I rose above it, gotta try to get along, gotta work together, gotta sing this song.
He's doing it again, yeah.
He's got a good bluegrass voice, though. That's the thing.
speaking about two beings attached at the hip, Dan Riker, you beat Split Fiction.
Oh,
Yes,
Affliction.
I did finally. I did a couple of sessions of that game when it first came out with Bonk, and it's like she's so not the like action platformer play. She's very much deep narrative
Systems,
RPGs,
yeah.
systems, roguelites, RPGs, and so I think she was kind of like, all right, well, I'll play this. It's a co-op game, we'll play. And like I could tell she wasn't like super into it, just not her type of game. And so I asked her last week, like, hey, you got nothing going on this weekend? Maybe you want to play some Split Fiction? And I just saw her like. And I was like, okay, wait, no, I know you don't want to. I'll just see if Kayla wants to, and then I'll just finish it with her. And so I think she felt relieved to have the Split Fiction burden off of her. And Kayla and I just streamed 2 nights in a row, 6 hours each night, and played it. And that game's very, very good. We've talked about it at length. I don't need to explain why it's so good, but like the ending in particular, I don't know how many of you.
I just heard that the end is very good. Is all I heard.
It's just on a technical level, like I mean, it's basically what you'd expect. Spoilers here, but like fantasy and sci-fi, and so it's intertwining them in a way that is like even like the split screen itself is kind of like you can kind of adjust it and
cool.
Live, the level is turning from fantasy. So I could be pushing a block in the sci-fi thing, and it's like some cyber laser box or something. But on Kayla's screen in the fantasy world, it is a mushroom, and it can be bouncy on her side. So it's like, okay, I'm looking at mine and hers and trying to figure out like it's the same. Like if it was a wireframe, it'd be the same level, but with all this different like fantasy and sci-fi stuff, and it just seamlessly goes between the two. There's parts where you're going down slides, and like there are spikes on one side, and you have to slide to the other genre. Basically, it's some wild shit it's doing. I've never seen a video game do anything quite like this. It's very hard to describe. If you just watch anything in the last chapter of Split Fiction, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But that game's really good. I mean, it is a certain type of game. Like I kept thinking of the phrase empty calories, but that feels too more negative than I mean for it to be. But it's just like
there's a phrase on a movie podcast I watch where they call it a good sit or an easy sit, like where it's just a movie. It's like you don't have to like get down deep. You can honestly just eat your popcorn and it's going to be an easy breezy sit.
It's like that where it's like it's almost like an amusement park ride or a roller coaster where it's like I think it is a better game by not having like collectibles and things to slow the pacing. It's just go, go, go. Now it's this part. Now it's this part. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of variation in like how you play it. But it's not an immersive sim. It's not like that's not what it's going for. So like this isn't a slight on it. It's just like I think we would all have a similar reaction to the part where, the hot dog part and stuff like that. So now it's this scene, this part where we all have the same experience, and the variation would be in like who you're playing with and your memories of playing with them and stuff. But the game experience itself is going to be very similar person to person, I would say. But Not a knock at all. It is a fantastic. And we did the friend pass thing that worked. So it was just such an easy sell. Like, because Kayla had never played any of the, Hazelight games before. And so, if I was expecting her to pay $70 for it, I'd have to kind of sell her on it. But I was like, hey, it's a free, here, just download this free friends pass thing and you'll get to play with me. And it's a no-brainer,
Awesome. Speaking about co-op games, the 4 of us teamed up to absolutely kick the crap out of Kind of Funny by playing Monaco 2. We played this against Kind of Funny. It's not a competitive game in that sense, but the 4 of us teamed up to do some heists against Kind of Funny. And y'all, despite them playing a lot of that game, we stole that day.
Well, we definitely had a death ball strategy where we just all stayed together and brute forced our way through for a while. I would say we were barely playing the game as intended until the final level where we had to, and then it was like, oh, this is how this game's actually supposed to work. We're like using our special abilities and unlocking doors and turning off triggers and
the key is you just got to have Jan on your squad and have him beat the fuck out of everybody. That's all you got to do.
Mike, if they didn't intend on us implementing the death ball strategy, they wouldn't have let me select the character that just punches.
Yeah, that's right. You were definitely the death in the death ball, that's for sure.
Yeah, the rest was just ball. Yeah,
just ball. Yeah, ball is life. I checked it out after the stream, and I was doing a little bit of the single player stuff, and it is definitely
how's that work?
It's definitely a very different game. Those checkpoints that you get to, those are opportunities to switch characters. So, the base 4, I guess, one has a dodge roll, one is a healer, one has a drone, and I forgot what the other one does. But say, you need to, in the first part or first chunk of the level, you need someone that can distract someone. Oh, the dog lady, sorry. And you get through there, but then there's like a bunch of like laser puzzles to get through, and then the easiest way to get through those is just to switch characters to the lady that can dodge roll, get behind to the terminal to deactivate it, and it is an incredibly different game than when you were playing with all 4 of us, like haphazardly, like just not even haphazardly, it was all planned actually, heisting the way to a building. It's interesting, the part where I wonder if the depth does get there, not depth, but when we do have to rely on stealth more, I wonder if there are going to be portions in Monaco 2 later in the game where maybe we do actually have to split off and like help each other kind of like get through a sequence versus most of the time we're pretty close together.
Yeah, I that was what I gathered from what we played, where it was like we were kind of going through the early stuff, and that first level where we did have to kind of like use our powers the way that it was intended, I think was kind of an indicator of where the game was going. And it's like, now it's just going to get more complicated from there, and we're going to have to do even more of that and kind of be in separate parts and like talking to one another and setting like each other. I'll be like, okay, I've done this. Now you do your powers there so we can open a door over here. That seemed to be the natural progression that we were just getting into as that stream was coming to an end.
Yeah, I would like to see maybe potentially circling back to that in a non-competitive environment, because I don't want to make Funny feel bad.
I love Monaco 1, so I'm glad we spent some time with that at all.
Still waiting on the Venmo from Miller with the sponsored money on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He wasn't even there. He ducked us. He was doing a comedy show in Chicago or something. Coward.
Gosh, sending his
you know how much I like Portillo's? How much do you like Portillo's? It's the same shit as always.
Oh my god!
Right.
Yeah.
It's like PC games. Am I right? You have to start an executable.
You see shirtless Spider-Man?
Sounds like we're trying to start a war right now, and I
broke that motherfucker's ribs a decade ago.
And exactly, that was the first shot.
It was.
It was so long ago. We're gonna keep this war running, and then Jeff Grubb, I'm gonna have to defer to you because you have been playing Warside.
Yes, the Warside. In the long history of video games to have war in the name, it's up there with Warface, maybe only second to that. This is an Advance Wars game in everything except for the name. It looks like Advance Wars for a Game Boy Advance. It plays a lot like those games, and there have been a lot of these now. And this one is War Groove. Yes, this is the one that maybe is going the most. Hey, this is just Advance Wars. It looks that way. It does.
Wow, look at this.
It does have its own quirks and even like units. Like for example, an early unit you get is basically a bulldozer, and this can push enemies like back a few blocks. So if they're in a tank and you push them into a river, well, they can't go in a river, so they'll just die instantly. Or you can push them into a mountain or a building, and they'll just die instantly. And so that's fun. It's a lot like Into the Breach. That is what that reminded me of.
I love it.
Into the Breach is maybe my favorite tactics game now. So I think the issue with this one might be, based on what I'm seeing from some of the other reviews, is there's limited content. Content is pretty light. But also, I get the sense that they got everything right about the way it looks, except for the character portraits are very ugly. I think I don't like looking at them.
Kind of like realistic-ish.
You know what it is? It's halfway between Advance Wars and Day of Ruin,
right?
The very grimdark one that which I think has been reassessed, and people are mostly okay with Day of Ruin these days. But this is somewhere in between, so it just comes out kind of boring. But the issue for me, I think, is going to be a lot of these games, they don't get the math right. So when you go into a battle, you feel like, all right, I should be making probabilistic decisions about is this going to be best if I attack first? I should be able to skirt out of this, maybe retreat a little bit, have some reinforcements come back up, and all that depends on how much damage you're doing and how much damage you're taking. All that has to be balanced pretty carefully. And I think this game does get that side of things mostly right. I have not had any issues there yet, but I think it becomes less interesting because I think the AI is just, and usually I'm not someone who minds this, but in a game like this, I want it to feel less like a strategy game for an Advance Wars, more like a puzzle game. And if the enemy is always just sort of making new units and running straight ahead, it's not going to feel very interesting. And that's been my experience so far. Maybe that's just early, but I'm hoping that changes up, because if it kind of stays that way, I'll maybe have some issues long term. Now, for me, if you're looking for a really good one of these, I think they're called Tiny Tank, and it's the second one, or Tiny Metal, excuse me, that's what it is. Tiny Metal, the second one was very good. It got everything right. I like that one a ton. And this one, they was in early access for a while, and now this is the full release. And apparently it's missing some features that people had in early access and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a weird launch. And there's a lot of backlash from the people from the Kickstarters and all the things like that. But it's giving a pretty good first impression. I just, I'm always looking for an Advance Wars game. I love this a lot. I love that genre a lot. This one's just kind of missing in a few spots.
What is it about some of these other Advance War inspired games where it just doesn't have the juice? The original.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love War Groove.
I
don't know. I think it's a big part of it could be that Fire Emblem, which is a very similar kind of game, has evolved so much since the Game Boy Advance era that it's there's so much more going on in this genre now that the people that love Advance Wars, and I'm one of them, when they want to go back to just Advance Wars, it's okay, you got to make sure then the basic stuff you are doing has to be perfect. It has to be so good. And I think they get distracted by their own, well, here's what we're going to do is set our stuff apart. And that's never quite as good as what Fire Emblem is doing. That'd be my guess.
I don't know copyright law, but I wonder how close do you have to be to something to be legally actionable? Because looking at everything about the actual map and the battle screens and stuff, not the portraits, but everything else is just Advance Wars.
Yeah, I think that they would listen, Nintendo could sue whoever it wants to sue, right? And they have very good lawyers, so people would probably be we should just settle. But I think in this case, it's you can't copyright an art style, and I think that's probably what they would argue. A lot of those units look very similar, but are they distinct enough? I think they'd probably be able to make the argument that they are. So yeah, but it is blatant. And I don't mind it. Whatever. I like it. I'm glad it looks like that game. I like the way it looks better than the Advance Wars remasters that we got.
Oh, gosh.
Kind of smoothed everything out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it was one of y'all that said it just inspired you to pick up the original Advance Wars on your analog.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wound up doing the same. Last thing on the list here. I don't know if someone misspelled this. PegIdle?
PegIdle.
PegIdle.
It's an idle PegIdle.
Oh.
It's exactly what it sounds like. It's PegIdle. It looks exactly like PegIdle, but you're like buying stuff with the gold. Like you hit the gold pegs, you make money, and then you can use that to unlock new balls. Like the bomb ball, the super bouncy ball, the rock ball, and then you can choose which one you're shooting out of your gun. But then you also set a bunch of auto drop stuff, and you're buying stuff to like, okay, I've got the rock balls auto dropping every 0.6 seconds, and so there's just this constant shower of balls, and you can also shoot your own balls. And you're just constantly getting gold and upgrading your balls, and it's just a good time. It's just there's no way you're not gonna
Download this. I haven't installed it yet, though.
Yeah.
Man. I'm seeing so many numbers go up, and I need.
It's one of those, and it's just very good at that. Yes. So
yeah. Jan, you weren't here last week, but I played Nubby's Number Adventure after you recommended it. That was great.
Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it a lot.
Hell yeah. All right, gang. That about does it for video game chatter. We're going to be back with some news right after this quick break. This is the news with Jeff Grubb. This is the news with Jeff Grubb. Jan is too scared to hit the music button, so I'm gonna sing a tune for Grubb. Grubb.
Howdy. Yeah, the sampler thing maybe is a little funky still in Goxler, if that's what you were trying to do. All right, I got some news here. Let's start by staring you directly in the eyes, because that's where I put the news.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no, I don't like this.
You're look right at me.
Fuck.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Well, what's going on my throat? Hang on.
Turn on
There we
those AI eyes.
Yeah, I'll just do that instead. Yeah.
Sorry, the A1 eyes. Sorry, I saw the Linda McMahon thing. I don't know if you saw that.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered screens and details have leaked. Leaked information suggests an Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is in development by Bethesda and Virtuos. The remaster, reportedly releasing for PC and Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 5, will include visual and mechanical overhauls, such as improved combat mechanics, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about it before. Someone was like, okay, I keep hearing these rumors. I'm just going to go check Virtuos's website. And then they inspected an element and saw that they were using WordPress. And I think they just started like looking for different folders that would be stored in the WordPress. And they found one that was labeled Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered. They found a bunch of screenshots, a bunch of comparison shots. And now those are out there. And, you know, this is happening. We've known for a long time that this is happening. And like I said on yesterday's Game Breaking News, it's going to shadow drop next week. It's coming next week. I keep being told it's a shadow drop. Still weirds me out. I'm like with everyone, like that's a weird way to handle a big game like this, but that's what I keep hearing. But next week we should have the information about this. So if it's more real than ever, did you guys get a chance to look at it? Because I think it looks pretty good. Although people are pointing out these screenshots, like in like the original game, there's a lot of green lushness to it, and maybe it's a little bit more brown. I'm hoping that that's just these screenshots and the green is more prominent in the final game.
Yeah, there's like a comparison here where it's like it looks like the one is taken during spring or summer, the other one's like the beginning of winter, like everything's yellowed. It's weird because you don't see the piss filter added more intensely to 360 games usually.
Like turn it up.
Yeah, but I mean, look, Oblivion was never a pretty game.
No.
So.
I liked the rolling hills and all that stuff.
Sure.
It's cool. The character's not as much.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the characters were definitely the problem. These character models look better. They look a little, I don't know, a smidge generic Unreal Engine 5e, I suppose, if you really wanted to get super critical. But no, they look fine. I'm excited for this. Oblivion's great. Haven't played in a long time. That's a big game to remake, right? That has to be a pretty big undertaking. There's just a lot of content there. So yeah, the idea that we could be playing this in like a week, that's pretty wild.
I think I'm going to do it again. I never played Morrowind back in the day, but all the hype in the early 360, like this felt like the first big post-launch game, and I went in, I absolutely loved it, did everything you could do in that game, and I think it's probably my favorite Bethesda game. I think.
Yeah,
so
it's up there.
I think I might play it again. Yeah.
I never checked it out, so I'm really curious to finally check this one out.
Oblivion.
Ooh, Oblivion.
No, I tried.
Yeah, it was valiant. I am. I'm gonna try it as well. I love Oblivion. Where are you all at with we don't have Sean here, who I consider the arbiter of telling me is it a remake or a remaster. They're labeling it as a remaster here, but all the visuals look remade in a lot of ways, and that's what we've heard. It's being remade in Unreal, at least the visuals. There's been back and forth about what's happening with the gameplay, but at least visually it looks like one of those standard remakes, not a Resident Evil 2 remake.
Maybe it's a remastered.
It could be.
It could be a remastered. Yeah, I didn't consider that.
It could be a definitive edition.
Yeah.
Okay, could be. Yeah, that line has blurred so much. Like Metroid Prime Remastered, that's something I would have absolutely have called a remake. To me, if you're replacing most of the game assets, that's kind of a remake. But I think we've had so many of these really expansive remakes where it's basically a new game that word feels a little bit weird now. So I am kind of at a point now where it's like when you're in the middle like this, you can call what you want. There are still things that are definitely remasters and things that are definitely remakes, and we have this new gray area. We almost need a new name for it or something. I don't know.
I like what Sean says here, where it's like if they made new visuals, it's a remake.
Yeah, I think that's
so like a
classic
remaster would be just like an HD re-release or something like that.
What Night Dive does most of the times, those are remasters, right? So for System Shock, which they remade, was that them? Yeah. So yeah, generally that's how it goes.
So yeah, we get more information, I guess, next week, and then we're playing it. I'm sticking to that. That's what I've heard that repeatedly now. So feeling good about that. In the meantime, how much is the horse armor going to be?
I mean, they're going to include it for free, but I like that people are expecting there to still be a reference. Actually, I kind of hope you have to pay the original price for it.
Just horse armor.
I think it'd be funny if we just made it really expensive.
Yeah, that'd be good too.
Someone will buy it.
The game is free, but the horse armor's $5,000.
Yeah, I would like that. Yeah.
Let's go. Status symbol.
Uh-huh.
God. What a simpler time when we were all mad about paying for horse armor, huh?
It was a pre-social media, or I guess it was like early Facebook days. Yeah. And it still was everywhere on the gaming internet. Oh, people.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
it was
podcast
a whole
and forums
thing.
Yeah.
It seems so innocent now.
It's even podcast at that point. Jesus, I don't know.
But looking back, it's kind of like, I guess their fears were founded.
One Up Yours was a thing at that point.
Yeah, One Up Yours. Yeah, I must have been
that was
on there in the
happening.
forums and the blog post on One Up and whatever. Okay.
Do we know? I assume Shivering Isles is part of this, but then, there are things like Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition does not come with that expansion pass stuff.
Very Nintendo, though.
That's very Nintendo. I think it'd be wild if they wanted to release Shivering Isles later and made us pay for it. Although Persona 3 did it, so yeah, games still can do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I think the way that they are coming out with this thing, and if it is just going to be a shadow drop, I imagine it's just going to have everything all in one, and they're not going to be like, let's drag this out for months and have DLC later or something like that. But we'll see. All right. Sony increased the price of the PlayStation 5. Sony has increased the price of the PS5 Digital Edition in Europe to 500 euro. Basically, they raised it about 50 euro. I think it was 450 before this. They raised it about 10% in the UK as well. In New Zealand and Australia, the system also went up 10%, but they also increased the price of the standard edition that comes with the disc drive included. And then they lowered the price of the disc drive everywhere in all these territories. So this seems to be, and they said it's due to inflation, and that's lagging inflation, the inflation that has already happened. Although I think they are also trying to price this with the idea that more inflation could still happen. And then they said due to destabilized exchange rates. Basically, the yen was way down, the dollar was way up, a bunch of other currencies were up high compared to the yen. That's going to fluctuate a lot. It's fluctuating a ton right now because of the tariff situation that's made it especially volatile. So I think Sony's like, we got to, move right now. But of course, this is also really just a good excuse to raise the price for an expensive thing to make right as they're about to sell a ton more of them because GTA 6 is coming out. So, they're taking the excuses they can take. And this thing is going to sell a ton more because GTA 6, a lot of people have been waiting on the sideline for that game. And that game's not on PS5 or PS4 and Xbox One.
Still, that's yeah, I get the GTA 6 thing, but this console is 5 years old. And I know that we're upsettingly not in the era where the prices ever go down on these things, and that alone is weird. The idea that they would go up. I mean, and I'm almost afraid to say this because some people get mad. how good has the PS5 been? Right? And now you want to charge this much for it in these territories? It's just kind of wild to me.
Yep, it feels unearned for sure. But I think that's the big thing here. That's why people, I think it's people are reacting to it because it's a price increase for something that has traditionally gone down in price, a console. But also, it's like no one has felt great about this generation on consoles across the board. It's been okay in some respects. Maybe we're a little harsh on it, but then they come back and are like, well, give us more money for the PS5 going forward. And it's like, we talk about, God, they want to get Switch 2s into as many people's hands as possible so people can buy the software. That's where the money's really made. And then these companies don't act that way. They're like, we're going to charge as much for the hardware as we possibly can. And then, we'll just sell software, I guess. I don't know. I think they just don't see consoles as a growth space, and I think that's not like a hot take. I think they kind of admitted as much.
But it's like this death spiral. Like, well, consoles aren't going to grow, so we got to squeeze what we can from people. Well, then that market's going to shrink every time you raise prices or refuse to ever drop prices or ever make these things more easily accessible. So I don't know. It's just this consoles are in this weird space right now, especially these super traditional ones. Like the Xboxes and the PlayStation. I mean, we see what's happening with Xbox, and it has not been some boon for PlayStation to have Xbox not bow out of the console race, but definitely step back from it. Yeah.
Yeah. No price increase in the United States, but are we expecting one? Because I am.
Maybe. I mean, you bring this up, how people in the U.S. get more angry than other territories sometimes. So there's a pretty big fuss about that.
Yeah, we are treated with kid gloves for sure.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're doing these other places, like, feasibly and economically, it seems like we would be due for one too. But then there is something about it always being even more real when we talk about the U.S., Jeff. And again, I'm just like, how could you charge more for a base PlayStation 5? The thing is 5 years old. It's not that good.
Well, we'll see. I might have the next story be about tariffs. I can't remember. No, that's coming up soon. But yeah, the tariffs are they're still here. Some things got exceptions, not consoles. We'll get into all that here soon. Marathon details. Bungie's Marathon will launch on September 23rd on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S with full crossplay and cross-save support. It will not be free to play, but they did not give pricing details. The first closed alpha test will begin in April. I guess later this month. Is that the case? Marathon is a PvPvE game, which we say that a lot. There's always a chance there's people listening that have no idea what that even means.
Yeah.
Maybe they play a lot of single-player games, or maybe they do play multiplayer games on their console. This is a term that definitely comes from more the PC side of things.
Like a Titanfall type thing?
Extraction shooter?
It's an extraction shooter. Titanfall does have PvPvE elements where it has drones in there for you to shoot, but those are more like ads, right? This is there are multiple teams competing in an environment.
Exoprimal?
It's an exoprimal, exactly. Okay. Now everyone understands. I should have just said that, Dan. And these, I think it's 6 teams of 3 people, and it's only teams of 3. If you want to play by yourself, you can, but you just have to set the autofill to off, so you're at a disadvantage. There's no like single player my team of 1 against other teams of 1. But these 6 teams are all trying to get stuff and extract loot from the game. But there are other teams trying to do the same thing, and when they run into each other, it might behoove you to ignore one another, or might behoove you to fight one another, try to get their loot, so you have even more when you leave the game. It's risk reward. But yeah, so there's multiple sides to it. It's not just straight up team deathmatch. Extraction is the genre that they're going for. People seem very unsure, because I think most people watching this are Bungie fans first, and then Destiny fans, and then I think they're saying to themselves, well, I've never played an extraction shooter, or if I have, it was maybe a little bit. This is not necessarily what I'm coming here for. Do you think that's going to hold this game back, or do you think the shooting in a game like Marathon can be so good that people will just get on board with it?
I don't want to invoke the name Concord, but
a lot of people are.
It's reminding me of Concord.
All right, but Concord's problems, the price was part of it, but it was a game that drummed up zero excitement whatsoever. Yeah. You think that this would at least do something with the Bungie name. I think aesthetically the game is interesting for sure.
I like whatever they're going for. It just feels like X Games vomit. which is good.
Yeah,
Parentheses
yeah.
positive.
Right, and it's all very like computer techy, if that makes. I don't even know how you explain it, but it's a very specific kind of sci-fi that isn't necessarily the go-to when you imagine video games in sci-fi. So I like the way that it looks. I have just not really played an extraction shooter. I'm only tried out because I know I genuinely like the way that Bungie games feel shooting wise. They make the best shooting. Even Destiny 2, when I would play it, I just liked going around and shooting things. It always felt good. So if that's there, you'd think that would account for something. But boy, people are just so skeptical right now of Bungie. I think a lot of people aren't happy with the way they kind of let Destiny 2 fizzle out there. Everyone's really skeptical of Sony right now and their whole live service plans and paying for a game like this in general. Live service games all over the place have been having a hard time catching on. You do get your Helldivers 2 happening, and that could happen here. And again, you think the Bungie name would help still, but maybe that name doesn't mean as much as I think it does anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, is there still a big audience for something like Hunt Showdown? Is that still doing big numbers?
On Steam, it's on the top 100, but it's in the bottom 50. It was when I was looking at this the other day, and then I was trying to find some other extraction shooters. I think Tarkov might be much bigger than that, and I think Tarkov has its own launcher. I'm not sure about that, but it was not in the top 100, and I think it's pretty popular still. So, I think this genre as a whole, though, is like definitely had false starts with trying to reach the mainstream. Warzone had an extraction shooter in it, right, for a little bit. I never touched that. I know some people did try it. Maybe it wasn't very good, but I thought some people did like it. But they're not doing it anymore. Whatever. And it's like, okay, so is extraction shooter is that genre due for its Fortnite, where something will come over and like introduce it to the mainstream, and everyone will be like, oh, now this makes sense to me, and it's fun and it's easy, it's accessible. Maybe, but I don't think there's any reason to assume that's like a guarantee. I think there's no reason to assume that the mass audiences be like, oh yeah, I want to like do this compound interest game where I go in one round, I win, and that makes me more efficient and better in the next round, and that just keeps building on top of it. That seems like a very hardcore thing, as opposed to Fortnite, where it's like, just be the last person standing, like the easiest concept in the world to understand. So I don't know if they match 1-to-1. And that again, that's not to say Bungie can't overcome all of that, because I think what we learned from Destiny is making a live service, sort of get together and do some runs with your buddies game. Like, a lot of people tried to make a Destiny of their own, and Destiny worked because it had the best shooting. Like, it just was the best feeling game. So that's why it really actually worked in the end. Even after Bungie screwed up a million other things about the game, they could always hang their hat on that. So maybe the same thing happens with Marathon. We'll see. Nintendo has been warned to expect 145% tariffs on Nintendo Switch 2. A major supplier has warned Nintendo and Apple that video game consoles could face that 145% tariff on Chinese goods entering the United States. The tariff has led to concerns that Nintendo may increase the price of the Switch 2, which was previously announced at $450. Most Switch 2 consoles are actually made in China. Only a small proportion are made in Vietnam. Now, all of those are being shipped to the United States right now from Vietnam, but it doesn't sound like it'll be nearly enough to meet demand. And they were always going to struggle, but this seems like way further away from even that. And this should like speak once again the lie to we're going to get manufacturing back in the United States. They decided to go to Vietnam back in 2019. Like, hey, we're going to start shipping or manufacturing Switches in that country as well, so we can be diversified. It's 5-6 years later, and they still only have a small percentage of their Switch 2s being manufactured in Vietnam. And there were exemptions to the tariffs. That was the good news is, hey, if you want a smartphone, we understand that's expensive and people don't want to pay $3,000 for a smartphone, which is like some of the numbers that were being thrown around. That's how much they would have to cost with these tariffs. And they got an exemption. And a lot of other electronics did. Consoles explicitly have not been exempted. So they are going to have to pay this 145% tariff if they come from China. It'll still be 10% if it's from Vietnam, which is still not great. That's actually still quite a big hit to Nintendo's bottom line and could cause them to raise the price. But we are as far away as ever from like a situation where these companies feel like they can understand what the tax situation is going to be for importing stuff into the United States.
Right, and I think this is why we haven't heard. Hey, when are pre-orders coming back for the Switch 2 in North America? I think they're still trying to figure things out. I bet they are probably trying to work on that exemption thing, Jeff. I bet that they might have people talking to the government.
They definitely do, yes. And Trump loves that people are coming and kissing his ass. He said that out loud. Dude just loves corruption. There is a little update. This is from Jordan Midler over at VGC. Someone put this in chat a little bit ago. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders will reportedly start next week in Canada. Nintendo Switch 2 pre-orders will reportedly begin next week, according to Bill Kuhn, who has a history of posting retail listing information ahead of official announcements. Canadian retailers are preparing to begin pre-orders for Nintendo's next system. Pre-orders in Canada for the Nintendo Switch 2 will reportedly begin on April 23rd. So
a lot of reportedlies.
Yes, that's they're covering their butt, rightfully so. Bill Kuhn usually knows what they're talking about. And that stuff's got to pick up again here pretty soon. And there are no tariffs on shipping stuff from China to Canada. So maybe they were just like, let's get our pipeline set up so none of that stuff accidentally goes through the United States. It all just goes directly to Canada. But yeah, this is small movement, and there's no guarantee that they actually follow through with this. As far as the United States is concerned, yeah, we haven't heard anything because they really don't know what's going to happen next. It still is a complete mess.
Fly to Minnesota. Let's do an all-day stream where we drive to Canada and we try to get Switch 2s.
Stream, yeah, the bootlegging. I've always
a full stream from a car.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's do a race where y'all drive to Canada. Nikki and I will meet up in SoCal and we'll drive to Mexico.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Smuggler's Grub.
I love this. I love this. I don't love the situation we're in because every new tariff update I see, it's either he's walking it back or it's not here or it's gone up by 100% more. The fuck are we doing?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, what is he going to say tomorrow? Right? So,
do you think Nintendo has the power to put Trump in Nintendo jail?
Yeah, he's probably not going to get a Switch 2 early, I would say. Probably not.
Probably not.
He's not going to get a gold-plated one. But
you get day of code. Yeah.
Day of code. Right, exactly. Yeah, just check his email for sure. And then, late that day, though. Not early in the day.
Yeah. Like 3 p.m.
Yeah. He's going to say something stupid next. It's not going to make anything better. That's why these companies really are just kind of in this holding pattern because they kind of can't even plan. Because if they start planning for, okay, let's say that these are all the hurdles, let's figure out ways around these hurdles. The hurdles could just shift or get bigger, and then all of the planning they're doing to solve the problem as it currently exists is worthless and obsolete. And that's what is really handcuffing them. It's the uncertainty. If they just knew, okay, for sure it's going to be 145% tariffs, that's terrible. It's going to it's going to cause their costs to go up, likely our prices to go up. But they could at least begin to come up with a plan to minimize the pain as much as possible. But they can't even begin that part of the planning because of how things are changing so frequently. Star Wars Zero Company, or ZCOM, as I think we're calling it, is the name for Bit Reactor and Respawn's new tactics game. Respawn Entertainment and Bit Reactor have announced Star Wars Zero Company, a single-player turn-based tactics game coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. The first look will be at Star Wars Celebration on April 9th. I think that this happened, but they didn't show much publicly. It'll have key art suggesting diverse playable classes like Jedi, droids, and Mandalorians, and a bunch more. They showed off the key art, and it looks pretty cool. And then people are saying this is from the XCOM team. I think we've known that. The former XCOM developers partner with Respawn, and they started Bit Reactor to specifically make games like this. So it's going to play a lot like XCOM, but with Star Wars. I'm on board. I like XCOM a whole bunch, and I like Star Wars.
Yes. Let me just have a team of droids battling. Rub, I just want Ewoks. Give me a whole squad of Ewoks.
Yeah, I want every possibility there for sure.
The
I
ones
just want
that
to put
roll
an Ewok into Overwatch.
Yeah, the Phantom Menace guys that roll in. And
the droidicas.
Yeah, I do like those. Yeah, I bet this game's going to be really good. I wonder how it'll do because, Marvel Midnight Suns seemed like it really underperformed.
Yeah, but that's cards. People hate cards.
Yeah, that's cards. But then there's also just the Star Wars factor. Star Wars not exactly at a high point.
Low point.
Outlaws came out. I know the reviews were mildly middling, but people did not seem to care about
Yeah.
that one at all. It's like Star Wars has never really recovered from that Episode 9 moment it had.
No. Yeah. We're us Andor's fans, we're doing all right. We go 8 more days or something like that, but that's not going to move the needle outside of that.
Hey, but by the way, XCOM 2 is like 95% off on Steam. I never actually played it, so I picked that up.
Mikey.
I know. So
One of
go check that out.
one of my favorite features on this website, good old exquisite core, and just the pure demonstration in front of everyone of Reichert luck.
Oh, God.
Amazing.
Tell me the odds. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the thing from Star Wars too.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is now 2025's second biggest game of the year so far. Assassin's Creed Shadows has been a commercial success for Ubisoft, becoming the best-selling video game in the U.S. for its first 3 weeks and reaching 1 million players across all platforms in a single day. Basically, Matt Piscatello over at Circana noted that it had been the best-selling game in the U.S. for the last 3 weeks. That's pretty good. Again, I don't think anyone's expecting this to be the answer to all of Ubisoft's problems, but the game is doing what anyone should have realistically expected in the best case scenario.
Right.
I think.
Now,
so good.
That doesn't necessarily mean that's what Ubisoft is hoping for, right? So I still want to hear from them in their next earnings if they're happy about it, if it's still like, oh, not quite as much as we were hoping. We're still doing shitty.
Yep.
But people seem happy with this, Jeff. Seems like it's doing well. Hopefully, it's enough.
Yep, it's a good game that's selling well. I think what more can you ask for? And then Mafia: The Old Country release date revealed on Steam. This seems to have been an accidental leak. Mafia: The Old Country will be released on August 8th, 2025, according to a Steam blog post. This is not an official confirmation. That date could, of course, change. The game was initially teased in August at Gamescom Opening Night Live and received a full trailer in December 2024 at the Game Awards. Now, this is a Take-Two game, along with Borderlands 4. I feel like is there one other thing, and then GTA 6. GTA 6, if that's still coming out this year and you're Take-Two, all your other games have to come out before that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
Yeah. I think especially like a Mafia game, I feel like that's got to come out a few months before GTA 6.
Yeah, there's got to be some space there. They're, not similar games really, but the same general genre, open world crime stuff. Yeah.
Does what's your guys' latest feeling on the release date for GTA 6? Mike, I'm feeling pretty confident it's going to come out this year now. Just the way things are going. And I counterpicked it in Fantasy Critics, so I don't love saying that, but it definitely feels that way.
Do you think Metroid Prime's coming out this year?
Yes.
man, you played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's like weird how like little we still have seen of GTA 6, but that part's that's just what they're gonna do. It's weird, the idea that it could seem too big to not come out. And at a certain point, you can't just throw more resources at something. But there's no indication yet that it's not going to happen, so I'm still just going to assume it is.
All right, I think that does it for the headlines I have here. I am going to hand this show back over to Jan. Jan, there you go.
I'm gonna go check if the maintenance person. Oh, thank you. No, there we go.
There you go.
If the maintenance person in my apartment needs anything, and we'll be back with some emails right after this. Hey. Emails.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Thanks, Scout. Bombcast, quit it. No, we're done with the song now. Stop.
Went past your cue, Scout. Come
Oh,
on.
come on. You're not going to get a cookie now. Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your lovely emails to. Write in about any and everything, and I'll read it. Special shouts out to everyone over the last couple of weeks that have been emailing for the first time, saying you're a long-time listener. Just want to chime in and say, like, hey, y'all are doing a good job. And you know what? Genuine, thank you. I don't know how to deal with compliments, but I try and relay them to the crew. They make all of us warm and fuzzy on the inside, and Grub just keeps staring at the camera with those cold eyes. First email the show is some trivia from Simon from Saskatchewan. Hello, Bombcast. Most people's favorite fruit, sorry, Mike, is the humble Scout, I swear to God, is the humble banana. Here are some trivia facts about them. They're technically a berry, like watermelons and cucumbers. Banana bunches grow upside down from what most people think. Oh, I didn't know that. Bananas are very slightly radioactive. The potassium isotope makes it radioactive. You'd have to at least eat 10 million in one sitting to die of radiation poisoning.
Sounds like content.
Watch Dan die from eating 10 million bananas. I think something else will kill you before the radiation at that point.
Yeah, they're good for you.
Brazil nuts are more radioactive. They can set off radiation detectors at nuclear power plants. Bananas don't grow on trees, but technically grow on herbs. Okay.
What?
I don't know. Banana trees are more related to ginger than trees.
Oh, I like ginger.
Banana plants will walk about 40 centimeters in their lifetime.
No.
Like ants?
They don't actually walk, obviously. It's complicated, but the way they get harvested means the plants need to stretch out and move over time. This is called walking. This means more land is needed to grow bananas, so potential deforestation may be required. Thank you all for all you do. Make sure to take wellness breaks. Simon from Saskatchewan.
Hey, Simon from Saskatchewan. Shout out to you.
Hi, Simon. Thank you.
Okay. What do you guys think like the record is for eating bananas in one sitting?
3.
Like 4.
100. I bet somebody's eating 100 bananas.
150.
I mean, like when I look it up, people are like saying like it's like 30.
Yeah, maybe that's right.
I mean, more than 30.
Well,
there's only so much stomach space, Dan.
It's
just
Mike,
they're
quiet.
mushy.
So content, Dan. I want 30 bananas. Also, this is a bad joke, but the first comment on this is gay. Come on. But anyway, I think that would be fun to try to break. I feel like I could probably also do more than 30.
I couldn't do it like speed wise, but I mean, I would just, it'd be a marathon, not a sprint.
Listen, I did the 999 challenge last year, and I don't think I've been the same since. I think my competitive eating days are long behind me. Dan,
have you done the Sprite?
I was gonna say, didn't you eat bananas and drink Sprite?
Me and Danny O'Dwyer did, and I think we threw up. Yeah, you gotta like eat a banana, or is it 2 bananas, and then you chug like a 20-ounce of Sprite, and we did that in my backyard, and yeah, I think we threw up.
Great.
Yeah.
Look.
Okay,
Jeff,
I take everything back. Hold on, I take everything back. Dan, you and I were going to try and beat the world record for most bananas in one sitting, and what are we going to call it, Dan?
Oh, Bonanza.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right. Woo.
Okay. All right.
You can say whatever you want. I knew as soon as I began what I was saying, it would end here. So now go ahead and lodge your complaints.
I can't dissuade him, so don't worry about that. But like, it's just like you with the bathtub filled with mac and cheese. It's like you just think about I like mac and cheese. You don't think about spatial volume, and your stomach is only so big, and there's only so many places in your body for food to go.
But here's the thing, a banana is the mushiest food. Like if there was a finite jar, you could 4 bananas might fit in that jar, but if you mush it all down, you could probably get 100 in there.
Now it is mostly fiber, which your body likes to take its time digesting.
Yeah, does fiber does it make you super poop or poop less?
It helps you. It's very good for helping your tummy get good at pooping. Yeah.
So
unless you have Crohn's, it's not great for me.
Yeah, it's bad for Mikey's.
Just like all fruit.
I feel like the radiation, like bananas being slightly radioactive, I think I would be more comfortable eating radioactive stuff than things with bacteria like yogurt.
Yeah, that's weird. It's basically the same thing.
Here's the good news.
I would eat a plutonium rod before a spoonful of amoebas.
Yeah, you eat bacteria all the time, so whatever.
Yeah, everything's got bacteria in it. Even McDonald's food, which takes forever to decompose because it doesn't have bacteria naturally in it. It's got some.
I just don't know so why do you shake your head? Why are you just I can't think about it? Just think about it and accept it and be happier and eat more food.
I eat plenty of food. I just don't eat bacteria.
You do.
All right, we can't keep doing this, guys. Travis and Fargo wrote in a bunch of questions. This is the Travis question of the week that I picked. Do you have any odd, specific tertiary hopes for the Switch 2, aka the Switooch? I hope the eShop works. Prayer hands emoji. Travis and Fargo.
I mean, Street Pass equivalent.
Yeah. Oh, I love that stuff. Yeah, some sort of weird
fun.
Miiverse type thing would be great.
Something like when we all of us have our Switch 2s in the same room at a PAX or a Summer Game Fest. something cool happens. And beyond just like, oh, now we can all play Mario Kart in the same room. Sure, that's a table stakes. I want just something Nintendo fun, weird to happen as well.
I mean, I really want themes back. I think they're fun. Like there's no reason why my UI can't look Metroid-y. That would just make me so much happier.
And they could even tie it to the fucking platinum points or whatever, like, you know, because they make those easy enough to get. You know?
I'll do that. Totally. I'll pay you real money for it. I don't, whatever. Just give me that.
All right. Next email comes from Not a Stoner. And they write in about a Jeff versus Jeff. For the purposes of this email, I will just be pronouncing the name as Geoff.
Sure.
Hello, Bombcast. There are Geoffs and there are Jeffs. Or Geoffs, Jeff's gone wrong. Or Jeff's dumbed down Geoffs. If you put a Jeff into a Jeff improvement machine, would a maxed out Jeff become a Geoff? Or did Geoffs evolve into Jeffs? Which is better? Regards, Not a Stoner.
Jeff is better.
Yeah. Well, all the Jeffs are, like, know this. We don't have to agree. Like, this is something that's innate. We understand this. There is a maximum Jeff. He works. Well, he's a character on the Mega 64 sketch. That always makes me laugh. But yeah, we're all trying to achieve maximum Jeff at all times. Geoffs cannot attain maximum Jeff.
Yeah, I have Jeff Bridges, Jeff Daniels. You don't have Geoffs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's Jeffrey Draft. He's GEO, but and we're okay with him.
Yeah,
but we don't accept him.
Yeah.
I think of Jeff Keighley I just think of him as Keighley at this point. He's transcended the Jeff label.
He's not held down by it. Sure, yes. Transcended is a strong word.
You goobers.
Okay, well then he's not a goober then. What about that? We can all agree?
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
breaking news.
Breaking
news. All right, let's take a look here. Actually, I didn't read this whole thing, so let me see what's going on here. All right, from Bill Coon on Blue Sky. For the USA, through some US retailers, I found conflicting data for pre-order start date of Nintendo Switch 2 hardware. For Switch 2 consoles, April 21st or April 30th, depending on retailer. For accessories like Switch 2 Pro Controller, April 30th. How many days are in April? 30.
Yeah, it's not many days before the thing 30. Comes out.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's still a little bit over a month, but also like that April 30th date feels like a placeholder to me. Like that feels like someone's like, let's just go set it to the last day of the month.
Yeah, but like that Mario Kart thing's happening on Thursday, right? Are we really gonna do that and like during that stream be like, and you could pre-order this thing? We don't know.
Yeah, I hope
they might.
They might though, right? Because again, the uncertainty is so bad. But
when I said that this wasn't much time till the consoles come out, I forgot about May.
Yeah, I could tell. I didn't want to like call you out, so I was letting it go. But I could tell what was happening there.
May like doesn't exist for me because that's just the month I'm going to Disney World, basically. So that's all that month is for me.
Man, sorry, just like thought about going to Disney.
I'm
not even
so
jealous.
Excited.
I'm just so happy for you, but I want to go so bad.
Oh, okay.
Why don't we just go again, huh?
I have an annual pass this year. Anytime you want to go to Disney World, any of you, just let me know, and I'll go there. I can maybe get a deal on a hotel, maybe not Disney, but another place nearby that's nice. Like, let me know.
Okay, Mikey. Yeah, you know, maybe we should have a team building field trip.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. All right, next email is about LodgeNet controllers and oddities. Hey, Bomb Crew. Longtime listener, first-time emailer. While listening to one of the GB shows, I was instantly activated by the mention of the LodgeNet N64 controllers. I work IT support for Sonify Solutions, which used to be LodgeNet. We're talking about collecting kiosk and promo materials, and while in-room gaming isn't really a thing anymore, most guests just cast their own apps or bring full consoles like PS5s, there's still some weird legacy tech lurking around. A few years back, I was at our office helping with network stuff and got volunteered as a 6'1", 250-pound Midwesterner to help set up cubicles. While digging through cold storage, I found a dusty corner full of retro gaming relics, third-party SNESs, and N64 controllers, old E3-style posters, swag, other third-party accessories. It felt like Bastion stumbling into the bookstore, The Never Ending Story. At one point, we had custom Wii consoles installed in select Marriott hotels. Basically, stock Wiis with about 60 games, mostly first-party Nintendo, preloaded. They were free to use, but only one worked if the room was checked in. The units were mounted in huge white lock boxes with beefy fans and PC-style power supplies to keep them from melting. See attached pics? I'll send you all the pics. As a thank you for helping out, I was gifted one.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Steel boxed with a new Wiimote, Mario Kart Wii wheel, and Wii Fit board. I was able to bypass the check-in requirement with a tech manual, but the console does not save. So guests could play Twilight Princess all day, but you turned it off or changed games. Poof.
Long ass game. Yeah.
It's a quirky piece of history, and while modding it is tempting, the lockbox didn't come with a key. So now I just have a chunky, half-functional Wii taking up shelf space, but it looks cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2 questions for y'all. What's the weirdest or most obscure gaming curio you've picked up from events or vendors over the years? 2, when has just existing in your physical form paid off? Not just tall guy gets asked to reach the top shelf, but like someone needs a large human to haul cubicles and get rewarded with rare hardware. Thanks for all the awesome content. Keep being weird. Yada I mean. Ryan from South Dakota.
Man, that sounds so cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and just having it look cool is most of the benefit of that. So yeah, just keep that thing as is.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of well, there's definitely been times where I like being in the right place at the right time, I guess, but nothing has popped to mind. Yeah. And I don't think I have a good answer to the other one either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have an orange GameCube, and like that's just from Japan. It's not that crazy special or anything like that, but I am very happy to have it. So then, like aside from just rare games, but I don't have like, this was the weird Game Boy Advance made for Costco employees or something like that.
Right.
Dan, you have to have something. I mean, you have a Bojangles Xbox. So
I do have a Bojangles Xbox. I do have the Taco Bell Xbox One X that they sent me that makes the Taco Bell noise.
They sent it to you, or did you win that?
They sent it to me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Got a debug PS2. I've got, the jungle green and gold and 64s, like some of the cool like variants, but not like there were definitely things that I saw like the Nintendo Museum where I was like, what is this like Taz colored N64? It's like orange and black, and it's like, oh, it's like one specific thing that was only in Japan. I don't have a lot of like I have all of the hardware, but like not a lot of weird variants for the most part,
Yeah.
As far as one's physicality kind of working out, there was one E3 where there was like a cable routing problem, and Jason A. Stryker, Vinny Caravella, tall, beefy men, they couldn't fit underneath like the little crevice we had made, and both of them tried reaching for it. They couldn't get it, and then I shit you not, both of them hands on hips. How are we gonna fix this problem? They both of them turn around, look at me. All right, short stuff, get in there. And I just scurried in like Baby Yoda in that one Mando episode and just connected the cables. All right, next email.
Did you hear that?
No.
There's some people doing something with power tools outside of my window.
Is it woodpeckers?
No, I think it's humans with power tools.
Maybe it's woodpeckers with power tools.
Yeah.
It's leaf blowers.
All right.
Okay.
It's leaf blowers.
I think I could hear something, but it's very faint.
Okay.
Next email fits in since Mike was playing Katamari Damacy over the weekend.
Oh, nice.
Howdy. You all now have a Katamari to roll around in a real-life location. Collect everything, and grow as large as possible. You start with a 1-foot diameter Katamari ball and have 30 minutes. Where do you go? Considerations. You're immortal and unfazed to risks, so weather, oxygen, fall damage, terrain, etc. don't matter. You're basically the prince, so you can just keep rolling no matter your physique or what you roll up, sharp, hot, etc. Keep in mind your objective to scale. Stores like Walmart, Costco are off limits. Feel free to use actual levels as an inspiration. There's no winner. This is just for fun and a pleasant time. Parentheses for you. Cheers. Money. Shh.
I think you go to like
Legoland.
Oh, that Legoland's
Oh.
good. I was thinking like a baseball stadium, and you go around, you get all of the chairs, just like,
Oh,
like a
yeah.
huge
All the
chair
baseballs, even
ball.
like because you start at 1 foot, you're not gonna be able to get
Yeah.
chairs right away. So
Right,
you go
right.
baseballs and bats and things like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
A soccer stadium would
players.
be pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's like I love the levels where the progression feels great. It's like starting off with like tiny everyday objects, then like there's that moment where you're getting small animals, then there's that moment where you get people, and that's a big step. Then you're getting trees, and you're getting buildings. So like
Cars.
yeah. So like theme parks sound good, but I don't want to. I like the theme parks. I don't want to roll them up. I can't put it back together.
Right. I think the spirit of the rules was, don't worry, everyone's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about killing them when
I just would go Legoland, get all the small Lego
Legoland's
pieces. then
good.
The Lego, like the bigger stuff they make with Legos, and then out to the parking lot and start getting the cars.
I think Jeff won with Legoland. I gotta be honest. I wish I could come up with something better, but that's great.
The Denver
right
airport.
answer. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, you can get the Legos and a bunch of other stuff. You did the Mall of America. Because they have that
yeah.
huge Lego area there too.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Mall of America's pretty good. Mall of
It's
America's
got a roof though. The roof's gonna become a problem.
That's true.
Right,
There's roller
right.
coasters and yeah.
I forget, how did Katamari Damacy behave with like liquids? You just rolled through them, right?
You can just go underwater. There's a certain point where like you can collect whirlpools and things like that. Like they just go in the ball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a level in We Love Katamari where you actually are like rolling a snowman, so you have some snow mechanics.
That's good.
Oh, it was a good level.
Just roll down Mount Everest.
It was great because like the King of all Cosmos was sort of lamenting the fact that like rolling snowmen is more fun than Katamari. It was very funny.
God, what a good character.
Oh
good.
god, I
You gonna
remember.
play the new one, Mike?
The phone one, maybe I don't have
Apple
I
Store
don't
one.
have an Apple Arcade subscription right now, and
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to pay for that.
Sure.
I remember this around this time last year, Dan Reichert and I asking Jade Cargill if she would cosplay as the King of Cosmos.
She was into
Right.
it. She said the
into it,
ab
yeah.
situation she could do. Yeah.
Next email comes from Kevin from Tennessee. Scout, I swear. I got a feeling by the Black Eyed Peas, the worst popular song of all time. Before you answer, let me remind you of the lyric. Fill up my cup, drink. Mazel tov. L'chaim. Look at her dancing. Move it. Just take it off. Let's paint the town. Paint the town. We'll shut it down. Shut it down. Let's burn the roof. Ooh, ooh. I can't think of a single other popular song that makes me want to kick through a speaker as much. Love, Kevin from Tennessee, sent from my Apple cellular device.
That chorus hits. Kind of I don't know. When I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I do have a feeling.
They're just tremendously obnoxious, aren't they?
Sure.
Like
Yes, I agree.
obnoxious is the word I think of when I think of the Black Eyed Peas.
Yes.
I have to like them because like one of them's Filipino.
No.
Yeah, the whole skinship kinship argument.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the lyrics of these sort of party rock songs from this era are just
Yeah.
incredibly vapid and nonsense.
You're never gonna get me with lyrics, right? Oh, the lyrics are bad. I'm like, well, I'm not listening to them anyhow. Does it sound nice when I hear it on the radio? I don't know.
I really don't like because as someone who loves Warren Zevon and Leonard Skinner, I get very mad at that Kid Rock song that takes two things I love and mashes them into a Kid Rock thing.
Sure. Well,
yeah, the
Kid
All
Rock
Summer
sucks for
Long.
lots of reasons.
Yes, he does, but I hate that song.
Yeah, there's definitely worse ones. Someone in the chat mentioned Mambo number 5. Like,
No,
yeah,
that's
it's a
not.
bad one.
That's a banger too, though.
yeah.
Come on, what are we
I
doing
like a
here?
lot of these songs. Yeah.
That the one little bit of Yeah.
Yep.
Like, how much money do I have to give you? Is $20 enough to do a cover of Mambo number 5? But you substitute all the names.
He's actually already on the hook.
Yeah,
he has to learn Informer by Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Someone
did
gave
I
us-
miss?
Have you
Someone
heard
gave
it
us
yet, Mike?
150.
Yeah,
It was Dr.
Jeff
Ryan.
volunteered me. Jeff was like, Mike will learn to karaoke the song with the highest donation.
I didn't ask either, and
Yeah,
I'm
it's
definitely,
all right.
it's definitely been weighing on me a little bit. But hey, he's got to learn it.
It made a lot of money. That's
It
fine.
did- yeah, it's all
I gotta
right. Yeah.
learn that song. I better start listening to it in the car so I can get ready.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for you to licky boom boom down.
Yeah.
What's that
keep
song
going
called
down.
again? Informer?
Informer by
Informer.
Snow. Yeah.
Okay.
It was everywhere back then.
Yep.
I'll get on that.
It's a good
So
song.
yeah, once he learns that, then we could start talking about paying him to learn other songs.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
bumping
and he's
up
moving
that.
into his ODB era. Yeah.
I can't wait for that. Gosh. Okay, last email of the show. Once again, the email address is bombcast@giantbomb.com. Thank you for writing in about any and everything. Last email comes from Rich. And Rich writes, I did the adult thing and rented a power washer. Power wash simulator is kind of BS because that's not fun at all. It's like playing the slowest, most boring hockey practice where you're sweeping water back and forth to clean a small area of driveway for 2 hours. Those games lie hard. Also, Mike reminds me of Dom Delius from the end of Cannonball Run movies when Burt Reynolds is making him crack up. Have a good week, Rich. P.S. What do furries and grub have in common?
I don't know.
Furries and grub. Let me think. They're both not sex things. I don't know.
They both love
Furby.
hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
Okay.
Oh, cute.
Attractive
Okay.
dogs. Is what? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Dan, who's the hottest dog?
Nope. Just
Hey,
not
weirdly, this one's
engaging.
also Batman. That's the thing here.
It's so Batman.
Yeah.
Dan, have I ever explained to you the human-sized dog man that becomes a Power Ranger?
No.
It's a human-sized dog man that becomes a Power Ranger.
Size dog man. Because is this a shoot
Yes. Well, I mean, shoot within the show.
Yeah.
on the Power Rangers show?
Yes. I
Okay.
believe his name was like Anubis Kruger or something.
That's
Do you-
pretty cool.
Do you guys remember the Kids WB show where all the world leaders had dogs and they were all part of a secret like crime fighting team and they went into like humanoid suits and fought
Wow.
crime together? I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't one of
every
the
other
first
show.
Kids WB shows. It was like in that second wave. But God, it was a weird show.
For some reason, just that description reminds me of the Burger King Kids Club.
It's kind of has a similar energy.
Okay.
I'm thinking
like-
of Pro Stars, where was it Gretzky, Michael Jordan, and Bo Jackson lived in lockers and fought crime?
I think we're 2 weeks in a row mentioning Pro Stars now.
I love
so.
Pro Stars.
'Cause, man, nobody even knows what show I'm talking. I mean, it's Road Rovers. It was called Road Rovers. I'm like, is that it? Doesn't even sound right. Not even a good name. That is it, Road Rovers. Why was it called Road Rovers?
Is Rover a dog name? Isn't that what? Like
Yeah,
a
but
dog?
why Road? Whatever. But yeah, like it's like the one was like the Russian dude's dog. One was the president's dog. All that stuff.
Was it Gorbachev? Was it Gorbachev's
I think
dog?
it was more of a Gorbachev than a Putin situation at the time.
Yeah.
Checkers, like Nixon's dog that he held
Okay,
up by the
that's-
ears.
This is so weird because to me, like, I watched the show. That show apparently had 1 season and 13 episodes. I probably saw all of them. Okay, that did not take off. Gotcha. It was the President of the United States, the British Prime Minister, the Chancellor of Germany, the Swiss President. That's probably where the hot dog came from, and the President of Russia. It was all of their dogs.
Fantastic. I feel all the more richer for having this information in my
Watch
life
this
now.
on your stream, Mike. I want to watch it with
Okay,
you.
we'll watch some Road Rovers
Okay.
together, everybody.
Dan, I put in our Discord a photo of Doggy Kruger or Anubis Kruger.
Oh, this is a cool guy. I like this
Okay.
guy. Yeah.
All right,
That's
cool.
that's awesome. Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, folks, that about does it for emails this week. What do we got going on the rest of the week? Game breaking news Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Correct, Mr. Grubb?
That's right. We'll have game breaking news. I'm looking you right in the eye when I say it.
Oh, I don't like this. We're also going to have Blight Club tomorrow, voicemail dump truck on Thursday, as well as a UPF this Friday, right after GameSpot After Dark. Gang, the power block is we're doing some things. We're rejiggering, we're shaking the box. God, I can't take Grub looking at me right now.
It's weird. Yeah.
I'm
I
not
feel like
looking
he's
at you. What do you
grading
mean?
me or something.
We're gonna have a little bonus after Blight Club tomorrow, right?
Yes. We're gonna have a bonus after Blight Club. The little discussion that Dan and I just finagled a hotel conference room to get into, along with some additional extra B-roll of mine and Dan's time, our little Badanza in New York, going up on the site tomorrow, right after Blight Club. We're gonna just watch it along together, going up on the site and the YouTubes and the power block. Gang, anything else? Look forward to this week.
Did we mention that talk over to the Mario Kart?
Oh,
World
yeah,
talk
Thursday
over?
morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thursday morning. It'll be early for Jan, so we'll all get up on the East Coasts and the Eastern time zones and Central time zone if you're unlucky, and get up early and watch that for everybody. So that'll happen. We'll talk over the whole thing. We'll see you then for that.
In about an hour and a half, or close to an hour after the Bombcast wraps, we're going to take an extended break. And I believe Jake Decker, myself, and maybe some others calling in will be unboxing some Magic the Gathering packs. So stay tuned, everybody. Until then, I'm going to hit this button and hope nothing breaks. Oh, thank God. I've been Jan, he's been Grub, he's been Mike, he's been Dan Reichert. This has been the Giant Bombcast. We'll see you next week for another episode. Goodbye.